Hey guys, how's it going? Josh here. And in Avengers Infinity War, Thanos succeeded in not only obtaining the Infinity Stones, but also quote-unquote snapping half of all life in the universe out of existence. Now, this left Avengers 4 with a very interesting predicament regarding how to connect everything together, since a lot of key characters from franchises such as Black Panther, Doctor Strange, obviously Spider-Man, like all those characters are pretty much TKO'd, or I guess snap-o'd, or whatever fancy thing you want to call it, they're gone. The key to Avengers 4 properly connecting all the previous MCU movies relies really strongly in how the film, I guess, kind of includes those characters without really including them, which is almost impossible. So, as rumored and speculated, it's really going to rely on time travel. And for those not aware, time travel is not only rumored and speculated in Avengers 4, it's practically confirmed to be in Avengers 4. And not only is it confirmed, it's pretty much how the movie kicks off. As the ending of Ant-Man and the Wasp teased, Scott Lang will enter a time vortex within the quantum realm, sending him into the future. We don't know how many years into the future, but we know it's definitely a decent hand size of years. My prediction or prognosis, 8 to 10 years maybe at the most, but it's definitely a handful of years. The reason why I say this is because in this future, we know so far that Tony Stark has a child with Pepper, and Cassie Lang is now a teenager. And the world's also recovering from the snap still, amongst other things. And this is all supported by different articles out there that have kind of taken things that haven't really been publicized that much, such as the casting Emma Furman as an older Cassie Lang, and also Gwyneth Paltrow in an interview spoiling that Tony and Pepper not only get married, but have a child, which was kind of hinted at in Infinity War, the maybe having a child in the future kind of thing. So this future timeline kind of explains also why we see Ant-Man with Tony Stark, and Tony Stark has gray hairs. This is where it gets interesting. So from here, the plan seems to be that Tony Stark is going to reassemble the Avengers, or maybe they're already reassembled, and Tony Stark, seeing Ant-Man from the past, or his past, our present, kind of decides to use a quantum realm for time travel in order to acquire the Infinity Stones from different time periods before Thanos had them, in order to undo Thanos' actions. Now, this produces a situation where the older timeline Avengers can meet their younger counterparts, other characters from past movies, and also at the same time revisit popular or integral moments any MCU movie. So we kind of saw teases of this with set photos. The set photos I speak of where we saw an older Tony Stark, that is an older Tony Stark at the Battle of New York, dressed in SHIELD gear. And for those who very accurately remember the first Avengers movie, there's a scene when Loki is kind of being escorted by guards on the helicarrier. Now, the outfits that those guards have is very similar to the outfits that Tony Stark is wearing. He doesn't have the helmet on, but everything else is practically the same. So it kind of makes it seem as if that Tony Stark, instead of this being in the future and he potentially leading a new shield, it seems that this is more so he goes back in time with Scott Lang, posing as a SHIELD agent, maybe is trying to get close to Loki in order to get information on where the Tesseract is, aka the Space Stone, or where the Staff is, aka the Mind Stone. However, it's worth noting that he's also, they kind of show the barf technology being used on these set photos, which was in Captain America Civil War. So it's very possible that it's either a combination of the two, just one or the other, since apparently we get to see Avengers 1 timeline cap. So it's very interesting kind of what's actually going on in this movie at this point. It could have been possible also that they're filming two far different scenes at the same time, or they're filming one of their fake scenes that they do to throw people off. Because we did get to see Loki on set, and also there's other things too that kind of lead to this being kind of a general framework of the plot line, because it's worth noting the Russo brothers did say Avengers Forever was the closest anyone has ever guessed yet to the film's actual title, and there is an Avengers comic miniseries called Avengers Forever, which features Rick Jones assembling members of the Avengers from different timelines. It also involves like Kang the Conqueror and other timeline stuff. That's really important to note because this helps strengthen the theory that there will be some time travel with multiple, Avengers members, and we may get different Avengers, honestly, from different time periods. So we could get Avengers 1 Cap, we can get future Iron Man, we could get Thor fresh out of, Thor 2 or Thor 1 or even before Thor 1. it leaves a lot of opportunities here to get different characters at different moments. Due to what we've seen, I'm assuming that most of the core characters will be as we saw them post Infinity War. It's really cool. It definitely would help strengthen the whole slogan of everything's connected throughout the MCU properties if they did this, because literally everything would be connected to Avengers 4. And this could also help provide closure for certain characters that never really got a proper wrap-up or fans liked and felt were taken away too soon. So in theory, they could save Coulson from getting killed, making Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a whole separate, timeline. Or they could do something like getting Quicksilver never killed by Ultron, or having Heimdall and Loki brought back to life, having Red Skull never transported by the Tesseract, him still being on Earth, or maybe through some action Red Skull is brought back to Earth from Vormir, since the Russo brothers did say he's kind of free from his, enslavement now. With all these rumors, it's interesting to note that it kind of seems the way it'll all end in Avengers 4 is through Tony Stark making a whole new Infinity Gauntlet, which will be wielded by the Hulk. And just like how the Infinity Gauntlet kind of messed up Thanos' arm after he used it, this Infinity Gauntlet will basically destroy, the Hulk's arm, whichever arm he uses to wield the Infinity Gauntlet. So I'm really curious, and that kind of actually reminds me of the Ultimate Comics, because in the Ultimate Comics, the Infinity Gauntlet was kind of split into two parts. So like you wore 3 stones on one hand, 3 stones on another, and the Hulk was the one who wore that. So it's kind of interesting if that's the inspiration for that. But comment below your guys' thoughts here. What do you guys think we'll see based on this in Avengers 4? I'm really curious to see how this will work. It'd also be really cool if, using this kind of stuff, Captain America, for example, Steve Rogers' Cap, instead of him dying, maybe he retires himself by going back in time to, the 1940s again and ending his life with Peggy. That'd be really interesting. They could really retcon a lot of things by doing this, and also based off of comments that Tom Holland's made, it appears that Doctor Strange will come back and he'll, help them maneuver through the quantum realm. Mark Ruffalo in an interview accidentally slipped out that there were scenes with Tilda Swinton, aka the Ancient One. Also, there's set photos supposedly of Mads Mikkelsen being there, who was in Doctor Strange. We thought he was kind of more or less dead. So there's a lot going on here with time travel, it appears. Comment below your guys' thoughts, and we'll see you guys later.